Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a mixed media mayhem layout for you guys today. And today we are scrap lifting Angelica de Bruin. I absolutely love her artwork on all of her little layouts. So I put this kit together in hopes to do her layout justice with what I have. So I am using my leftover Kit Conspiracy kit from the Anywhere collection or Everywhere collection. I don't quite remember. I think it's Everywhere, is where this collection is from. There's just so many. There's so many now to choose from. So here is a close-up of Angelica's gorgeous layout, and I'm going to try to do it some justice. I'm going to pop it right up there so that way I have it for reference. I do have two photos. It's the same picture. One is just close up and the other one is far away. We just got to the cabin in June Lake back in 2021. And I just love my vehicle, you guys. I fall in love with all of my vehicles. And so just like family members, I try to take pictures of it so that way I have memories of it for when I have to lay it out to pasture eventually, right? So yeah, I do want those memories of the trips that it has been on as well as what we have been on. So within my Everywhere collection, I have pulled out some rub-ons and some scraps, some branding strips from various pieces, as well as some cutoffs from some of the papers. I apologize for being tongue-tied. So as soon as I flip it over, my purple piece, I will confirm whether or not it's everywhere and anywhere. I also have some die cut pieces, and I'm not sure if I'm going to need this white piece of cardstock or not. I don't know why I put that in there, but I did pull out a scrap of white cardstock to mat my photos, and I am going to use my blending brush as well as two stencils, some tumbled glass, and then some tumbled glass in oxide spray. Now, I do have to tell you guys that it is everywhere, by the way. I can confirm it now that I flipped it over. I do have to confess to you guys that I did not clean my stencils, and so that is where I don't get a true blue rubbing from the stencil. My ink actually picks up all the other ink that is on the stencil, and I end up getting a menagerie of color, which, in all honesty, I really like it. So I'm going to leave it, and I don't see it as a mistake. All right, so my first cut, my paper shifted on me, so I have to cut it again. It's okay. It wasn't too bad off to where I don't have a true 12 by 12. So thank goodness for that. I do have a little strip that's missing down at the bottom, but nobody's going to notice it. Except for me and the fact that I told you guys. Yep. So I cut down my photos. I don't know the exact sizes that I cut them down. I know one of them is roughly 3 by 3 and the other one I think is 3.5 by 4.5, somewhere in there. So that way I have my two representations. Once I figure out where I'm going to put my photos, I'm going to trace an outline, because anytime I do mixed media, I really truly don't like to guess as to how big my pictures are and how small my mixed media ends up becoming. And then I have to figure out a way to add more once some of the elements are already down. And if you're working with wet media, like this media here would have worked out beautifully because it's totally dry media and there's not really much to worry about. However, when I'm working with a wet media such as watercolor or alcohol ink, I really need to know how big does my design need to be in order for my photos and all my embellishments to not cover it up. I don't like the extra effort that it takes for when I am creating, and then it all goes to waste because it all gets hidden. All right, so as you can see, that first stencil that I used was uber super dirty. I need to clean my stencils. I know, but this one got put away dirty. And I brushed it with the tumbled glass, and I have to tell you guys that I love how it looks. I really do. So my next stencil is this cross stencil from Dusty Attic. They're both actually from Dusty Attic, and I ran it through with just my tumbled glass, and I love how it is its true color. So I've got the blue in the crosses, and then in the X's, and then I also have that dirty blue, whatever that was called, from my grid stencil. So I tried to just use the grid part and not the big blotchy ink spot parts. So it's very, very blotchy. And then I'm just going to take these rub-ons and scatter them throughout where I believe I'm going to have embellishments and banner pieces from what I can see in the sketch, just to add a little bit more color and interest. Now, I didn't make you guys watch me rub all those on because it was a long time. It took quite a bit to rub on that whole 6x8 sheet in various spots. So I'm going to take some of these. This piece here is a packaging piece, and then the other piece that I have is actually the paper. They look very, very similar, except that the packaging is shiny, but when I add it all into the layout, you really can't tell the difference between the two pieces. Now, I'm not going to, I could have definitely tried to cover up my pieces and run them through, and then that way I don't have any more of these scraps. But that's not the game that I played with myself this time, which I should have, because why do I need all these little microscopic scraps? I don't know. So I am just going off of what Angelica used in her sketch, which I honestly didn't even see the big giant banner that she used as a second photo mat until I was almost done with my layout. I didn't even notice it because of the doily that she has on the left side of her larger photo, that I missed that banner piece, which I am perfectly fine with because all of my other pieces worked really well in order for me to have all of these teeny tiny little banners. Now that piece there that says never leaving, it's a teeny tiny little rub on. I'm actually going to put that on my photo and it disappears entirely. So I should have left it where it was, right there on the bottom, and I can read it and see it right there. But unfortunately, I don't. I end up putting it on my photo thinking it would be a cool effect on my photo, and nope, it gets totally lost. So that's my bad. And then the room with a view, I'm actually taking a picture of the car outside of our cabin. So I stepped out of our cabin really quickly and then noticed the car sitting right there and thought, oh, I'll snap a picture. The car sitting next to us, the black car, is actually Nana and Papa's car. So you can't see it. It's a smaller SUV than ours, but I still kind of like it because Nana and Papa just bought that brand new car. I think it's a Land Rover. I want to call it a Land Rover. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm calling it. It was so brand new that they asked me to go for a drive because they didn't know what part of the buttons are, and I am the biggest button pusher when it comes to buying a vehicle, you guys. No lie, the first thing I do is I push every button in the car, to even in the back seat. I ride in the back seat for part of the way, and then I ride in the front seat for the other part. My husband's actually driving and I'm pushing all the buttons. I want to know where they all are. I want to know where, what they all do. I want to know it all before I buy the car, and that's just something that I've always done. And then, of course, once I purchase the vehicle, my next favorite thing to do is, yes, I'm weird, read the owner's manual. Because I have found out so many things about my car right now, this white one, that I didn't know it could even do until I read the owner's manual. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, of course, some of them do say that some are equipped with this feature and some are not. But it's always kind of nice to test it to see if it is featured on your car. And I just really find it fascinating that they kind of hide those gems and you don't know about them unless A, the dealer tells you, or B, you read the manual, right? So anyways, I am one of those weird ones. My last car, the one that I ended up giving to my mom, was my little blue car that I've scrapbooked quite a few times here on the channel. It actually did not come with a manual book. It came with a DVD. Yeah. So unless I pop it in and say it's the movie of the night, I don't know how else to watch it. Like, that's not fair. Computers don't come with those disc thingies anymore. So how on earth am I supposed to read my manual? Well, one of the things that I found out from my dealer is that the manual is actually in the car. So if it's not in drive, I can go into the menu screen and actually read the manual in the car. So I thought that was pretty cool, that they have it digitized now instead of this big bulky book that most cars used to come with. Now, I don't know if that's all the cars, certain brands of cars. I have no idea. I just know that I am fascinated by what vehicles can do these days. Really fascinating. All right, so I'm going to add these little wordy bits all over the place, put some tabs around places, some tickets and stuff. I always love decorating travel pages with tickets because you've always got receipts. You always have brochures. You always have, memorabilia tickets from purchasing, like to events and stuff like that. So tickets are really, really good to add. All right. So I was getting ready to end the video when I realized that I wanted to splatter. I just really thought that this blue was gorgeous and I really wanted to add a little bit more to the layout. So I'm going to add some little splattering. Plus Angelica used splattering. So I couldn't not use it. And I am just in love with how all of this came out. I also love, love, love making mixed media layouts without making the mess. I mean, they come out so beautiful. Looks like I did a ton of work on this layout, but in all reality, I didn't do anything. I used a couple stencils, a little bit of splattering, some rub-ons, and bam, yeah, I've got a mixed media layout, you guys. It is awesome. I love when I can do layouts like this. They don't all come out all the time really good, but most of the time they really do. All right, Angelica, thank you so much for allowing us to lift you. I had a blast. Your work is always so great. Don't forget to check out the playlist and the links down below for Mixed Media Mayhem. I've got the Facebook group if you guys are not a part of that yet. I have the album, so if you guys want to just go check out today's album and see who all is playing along, because we also have folks that aren't YouTubers playing along as well, and they pop in their version of this sketch or the recipe in the album. So don't forget to check that out. And I will check you guys all later. Thanks. Bye.